When Marvel Rivals released, I wasn't sure if it would grab my attention, but once I laid my eyes on the more splendiferous shelf, I knew this game was special. In this video, I'm going to be ranking each and every Marvel Rivals hero based on one very important feature, their magnanimous melons. So enough yitter-yattering, let's start this family-friendly tier list off right. First up is Man Tits. Now the only reason I call her Man Tits is because it's just too easy of a pun for me not to use. If a man were blessed with tits as nice as Man Tits' tits, Jesus Christ, then I might actually be into men, because Mantis has got some superb smackers. They're nothing that'd get me hooting and hollering, but if I had to ingest a pint of expired milk for a soapy pick, then you bet I'd be swallowing. So I'm gonna give Mantis a respectable C tier. Now let's see who's following. These rhymes are getting out of fucking hand. Next up we got Rocket Raccoon. Now same way I'd exempt myself from glazing the rack of a baboon, Sir Raccoon does not have milkers that protrude out far enough to be entombed in a high tier. So I'm just gonna keep it clear and cheerfully steer this disgusting rodent straight into F tier. And sadly I fear there's a few people that won't adhere to this opinion, simply due to the fact that they enjoy hair in areas where hair should never grow. Hairy titties should not be something you hooligans desire to admire. Next up is Loki. Now I have no idea what this man's canonical cannons actually look like due to his armor shielding his shakas, but you blokes did bring up a good point last video. Loki can transform into any living entity you desire, meaning if he wants to be placed at a higher tier, then he can transform into Lord Bubba, making my little pecker cheer. So I'm gonna have to give this phony jabroni a solid S tier simply due to his succulent superpowers. Next up we got Luna Snow. Om jag pissar den där para vete, tycker jag ska svete, jag kommer tycka det kara esse. Twin. I fucked that up so bad. El Nivel S, which means S tier, I think. Next up is Invisible Woman. It doesn't even matter if Sue Storm goes invisible. Boobies like that have an aura to them. I wouldn't even have to make eye to honker contact to know they're nearby. And when she's visible, my eyes are blessed with blissful biddies, and they're the perfect size. So Sue Storm, S tier. Next up we got Jefferson. Now obviously this little bugger doesn't have any juggers, because if he did, then he'd basically have 6 legs, because since he's so fucking short, he'd just be dragging them on the ground. So even though I think it's right that he doesn't have any titties and it would honestly just look weird if he did, I'm gonna place him in F tier anyways. But just know this isn't in a mean way like it was Rocket. Next up is Cloak. Now take everything I said about Invisible Woman and triple it. This woman is wearing the tightest, most uncomfortable looking suit I've ever seen. And not only is it most definitely uncomfortable for her to wear 24/7, but every time I look at it, I start to become uncomfortable from the waist down, because my meat unfortunately begins to rise, albeit only a few millimeters. Cloak is a definite S tier with them saucers. Damn, we really speedrunning this shit, ain't we? Next up we got Adam Horcock. This man is built extraordinarily well, and although the fact that his skin is made up of bones and flesh mashed together is a bit of a turnoff, the shape is still there, and for some unexplainable reason, I want to punch Adam's chest as hard as I possibly can. I don't know why, I just have this masculine urge to. But hey, I'll take any way I can get my hands on them titties. Adam gets himself a B tier. Next up is Wolverine. Now listen, I have personal beef with people who play this man. I am so tired of you slimy fucks dashing into me and basically just ignoring the Google amount of damage that I'm pumping into you. But I will say, you have to be equipped with some serious pectoral strength to be able to kidnap a fully enraged Hulk while dashing midair. And I can just tell that Wolverine's got some fucking hee-haws under that jacket. So I'm gonna give him an A tier. Next up is Frankathy Castle Cooch. Now this dude is pretty much just the Jack Reacher of Rivals. He's a very buff, masculine man that probably has a slight pungent musk to him. But thankfully, unlike Elon Musk, I don't think Frank Castle likes to salute Hitler. But since he's muscular, he's bound to have some daunting chesticles. The best part is Frank is 100% natural. 0 steroids in sight. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw the Punani in B tier. Next up is Daddy. I mean Winter Soldier. He's got the same features as Punisher, but significantly less impressive. If Frank takes roids, Bucky takes creatine. I don't want to say his silkers are mid, because they're definitely above average when comparing them to other men, but in terms of the Rivals roster, I think Bucky lands himself a C tier. This is the only ranking I'd be willing to bump up simply because Bucky is the bestiest character, but if only he was the breastiest. Next up is Star-Lord. Now I can't really see Star-Lord's 6 rack due to the fact that there's not a single patch of skin visible on this brother's body. Just guessing though, he seems pretty fit, especially if he's able to do mini flips while jumping, so he probably has a well-built pair of pectoral plums that would presumably cause my lower thumb to start rising. Dude, if I keep fucking rhyming, I'm gonna fall asleep. But I think Bucky's got Chris Pratt slightly beat, so I'm gonna beat Dolores Meat straight into D. Next up is Storm. Do I even need to make a segment for this woman? Every time you hover over Storm's select screen, her tits get to jiggling like a category 5 earthquake just hit her from the back. The only reason you wouldn't rate Storm in S tier is if you were a cop, and that's not because you wouldn't find her god as attractive. Anyway, Storm gets an S. Let's talk about the amazing Spider-Man. There is nothing even remotely amazing about this agile twink in a skin-tight suit. You would think the character that literally shoots silk would have some bizarre bongo silkers, but in reality his chest is built like an an Xbox Series X. Construction contractors use Peter Parker's chest as a surface to test their levels, because as long as he's lying on his back, that shit will be dead even 100% of the time. So Spider-Boy gets a D tier for disappointment. Next up is Squirter Girl. Now listen, I ain't into bestiality, but Doreen's got a clean pair of mammal milkers. They're perfectly shaped, and thankfully from what I can tell, there isn't any honker hair present. Okay, I'm just now realizing, if this bitch has a tail, then she probably has a gnarly ass bush, because I doubt she's shaving that shit. But hey, a little hair here and there never hurt anybody though, so the furry gets an S tier. Next up we got Scarlet Witch. Listen, it doesn't even matter if the Gondas are as good as other heroes. If she makes eye contact with me with those piercingly erotic corneas, I'm gonna instinctively become hornier. And it's not like they're mid-biddies either. They're actually quite nice. But from a broader standpoint, I reckon the hero's an S got her B. So I'm gonna unfortunately have to give my girl Scarlet Witch an anus tier. Next up is Psylocke. Now I'm sure a lot of you fucks think I'm about to glaze the absolute shit out of Psylocke's mitts. And you'd be correct. She has quite the excellent pair of melons on her. Some could call it melancholy. I'm cutting that out. Who would have thought the Asian woman would come equipped with such a feat? Okay, so I just looked this up and apparently Psylocke is just a white English woman. Am I missing something here? How is she not Asian? Why does Marvel have to be the most confusing shit in the Gigaverse, bro? Whatever, Psylocke is an S tier. Next up is Goon Knight. Maybe the moon really does haunt this man because I know damn well he ain't got shit under that outfit. Look at his legs, for example. Bro's walking around on 2 toothpicks. Now, unless he skips leg day like a real Sigma male, then I'm gonna assume he ain't lifting weights, meaning he's not lifting my face when he walks past to look at his rack. So I'm gonna give Moon Knight a D tier, because even though I'm confident in my hypothesis, it could still be wrong. Who am I kidding? I'm never in the wrong. Next up is Namor, or Namor, or fucking Nahor, whatever you want to call his dumbass. This dude's practically fucking naked for a reason. He's got the most majestic build in the entire cast. I will say though, out of all of his muscles, his chest is probably his weakest feat. That still doesn't affect his ranking, however, because dude's chest is gleaming, and in order to stop myself from creaming, I'm gonna quickly throw Nahor in S tier and move on. Jesus Christ, my voice is going out. Time to sip on some cock, boys. Delicious. Next up we got Mr. Fister Fantastic. Just looking at his base skin, Nathaniel has a C tier skin sack at best. By the way, what kind of name is Nathaniel? More specifically, Nathaniel Richards. When it came to naming them, they just googled the most common regular 9-to-5 office worker civilian name and ran with it. But anyways, Mr. Richards can expand his chest to whatever girth he desires, so he's obviously not going in C tier. Dude could just wrap his saucers around your neck and be a makeshift neck pad that you can use after a long day of eating out your e-kitten in VR chat. And Lord knows I need that. So Nathaniel earns himself an S tier for his usefulness. Next up is Magic. Now Magic's melons are quite magnificent, and I often find myself marvelously staring at her milkers, not with a malicious intent, but malevolently. Okay, that didn't make any sense. I just felt like Dr. Seussing real quick, but basically what I was trying to say is that Magic's rack is top notch. She's got a shelf you would find on the top rack of a Home Depot, well secured and expensive. And you know they're important when the heaviest piece of armor is her titty shield. Magic gets an A tier. Next up is Iron Man. Alright, I'm just gonna say it. Tony's a phony. He ain't got even an ounce of a chest under all that metal. He's just got your ordinary billionaire bonker build, which is always mid as hell for some reason. Like you'd think after achieving generational wealth, the only thing you have left to work towards is generational health, but what do I know? Maybe there's a reason rich people don't work out. I just wouldn't know yet. Maybe if y'all molested the subscribe button, I could get rich enough to indulge in this knowledge and share it with you all. But yeah, Tony's an F tier. Next up is Iron Fist, man. This dude's shredded as fuck. I aspire to look like this Mendejo. The Fister of Iron's got the build of a main antagonist in some anime. His chest pokes out of his drip, which in turn makes me slightly drip. There's something so aesthetic about a pair of knockers that poke out past anything else on your upper body. It reads alpha male. So yeah, Iron Jit gets the 7,000th S tier of the video. Next up is Hela. Now I said it in the Smash or Pass vid, so I'll say it again. Hela's just got a way too hella nice rack for me not to give her an S tier. I don't care if she's some fucking evil demon, alien, Shrek cosplaying cum goblin creature. I'm still drawn to her best feature, which are her boobies. So I'm keeping her in the only spot that makes sense. S tier. Next up we got Hawk Eye. You thought I was gonna say Tua, didn't you? Nah, we don't do that dumbass brain rot shit on this channel, Bubba. I can tell Hawkeye's got some sort of formation on his chest due to the titty guards on his armor, but I don't think it's nearly as erotic as the heroes in A or S tier. So I know this was a speedrun ranking, but I'm gonna give Haley Welch a solid B tier on the bonkers tier list. Next up we got Black Dildo. This is gonna be the shortest segment out of them all, because everyone and their mother is in agreement here. Black Widow easily achieves an S tier rack. I mean, she literally produces silk due to her spider-like tendencies. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put her at the very very top right behind Storm. Next up is the Wakanda himself. Now I haven't seen many Black Panthers recently because he's kind of hot shit right now, so I was scared I was gonna have to give him a lower tier because I low-key forgot how he was built, but nah, this dude's built like a fucking CH-53 Super Stallion Sikorsky attack helicopter, bro. Homie's got knockers. This is like peak male physique, other than Bubba. So yeah, I genuinely believe the dark-skinned Panther deserves to be placed in S tier. That's fucking A tier, you retard. Hold on, I gotta collect my Clash of Clans resources. Oh fuck, it's war. Give me a second. What the fuck is that bullshit? Bro, destroy that fucking air defense, you retard. Oh my god, I hate this dumbass game, bro. Easy. Boys, I'm proud to say we secured the 3-star. Next up is Venom. And this will probably surprise you, but I don't think Venom is even close to S tier. Hell, not even A tier. Because if you compare his chesticles to the rest of his body, the proportions are vastly differing. Like, just look at this man's traps. They're like 4 times bigger than his chest. I feel like his chest should be at least 3 times bigger than it currently is. Maybe he should cut his 19 inches in half and transfer the remaining 9.5 to his pectorals. Venom gets a B tier. Next up is Thor. This guy's a snooze fest, bro. I was mistaken when I called him a fat ass because he is bulky as fuck, but he still doesn't catch my eye in any way whatsoever. Like, every time I get to this guy in a tier list, I don't know what to say because he's just mid, but I think in terms of chesticles, he's right up there with Venom and B tier. I don't know, I'd have to see him shirtless to properly rank him. Not that I'd want that or anything. Next up is Peony Parker. Insert all the comments about how she's totally not a child and that the devs magically changed her age that way people could make despicable ass mods for her. I don't care, bro. I told you on the first list I knew nothing about Marvel, and if I had to look up Peony's age after seeing her for the first time, then that clearly means she's meant to be designed off of a child. Y'all are some strange mother huggers, let me tell you. F tier. Speaking of strange, next up we got Doctor Strange. Now I love Strange's design, but even I can admit he ain't got any milk blasters. He's just an average, tall, mysterious fella. But I reckon under all that cloakage, he's got at least a little bit of chestage. What? So I'm gonna give his upper doonies a solid D tier. Next up is the man that strikes fear in many, Magneto. You know how when bodybuilders get old, their skin begins to get looser over time? That's what's happening with Magneto. You can tell he used to berate the gym on a daily basis because dude's got the canvas. Unfortunately, however, I'm almost certain you take those clothes off, you're gonna be met with mostly loose skin folds. So to meet in the middle, I'm gonna diddle Magneto straight into C tier. Oh, Jesus. Next up is Hulk. Now I was thinking of ranking Bruce and Hulk separately, but then realized that would just be more work, so I'm just gonna put Hulk in S tier and move on with my day. Next up is Groot. Groot is tree. Groots no have chest. In fact, Groot often lose mass when damaged, so Groot get lower ranking. Groot get D tier. Lastly, we got my favorite hero in the entire game. Captain America. There were a lot of angry gamers in my comment section last video because I was taking out my insecurities on Captain America, so I would just like to apologize. He does actually have quite a superb pair of meat spears on his chest. And then again, I feel like the ridiculously sized titty shield on his armor is a bit of a compensation. I mean, come on, it's not that big. But nonetheless, I'm gonna give the American Patriot a solid A tier for America. And that was the Marvel Rivals titty tier list. Now hold the fuck on, don't you click off yet, asshole. Before you leave, my boss told me to force you all to watch another video because I'm very close to 30,000 subscribers, and the more views I get, the more likely people are to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So on your screen now are 2 more massive wastes of time. Choose wisely, and I'll see y'all later.